Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Under bids, awarding bids, number 5 is a resolution receiving bids for Dresner manhole replacement. Mr. Lang.
This is an item that we discovered last fall during our manhole inspections. We found a manhole that is likely in excess of 100 years old that is failing. It's on a main trunk line or two. It's at the intersection of two main trunk lines in Dresner Park. So we put together plans this winter and to replace this manhole. The low bidder was Jensen Excavating and Trucking at $27,667. After looking a little closer at their bid, we feel that there is some work that we can do ourselves, like bypass pumping and some of the restoration to bring their costs down. So in working with him, we're looking at an overall final project cost of $19,967. This would come out of our wastewater treatment plant fund dollars, so we would recommend awarding this work to Jensen Excavating and Trucking.
Council, any comments? If not, we need a resolution for number 5.
So moved resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 6 is a resolution receiving bids for 24th Street Southwest Mill and Overlay. Mr. Lang.
This project is identified in our CIP. It's been a project or a roadway that's been getting progressively worse over the years. And this would be a project that would mill and overlay 24th Street Southwest from Oakland Avenue South to about 8th Avenue. We got 2 bids on the project, with the low bidder being Hewlin Brothers, $58,328.50. Our budget for this project was $100,000. So we have identified some additional work that is needed on 5th Avenue Southwest, which is just on the south side of Shirley Field Park. And with adding 2 additional blocks to the project would bring a total project amount to $90,882.92. We would recommend awarding this project to Hewlin Brothers with the 5th Avenue additional work. And it would come from our capital improvement fund.
Council, any comments? If not, we need a resolution for number 6, awarding the bid.
So moved the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Okay, so Joyce, Pashusta's here, and Obala has shown up. Obala, raise your hand. He is here. All right, people at home can't see him, can you? But well, maybe you can. They can. Okay. So you got to pay attention, Mr. Obala, because there's a quiz afterwards on your first meeting. Number 7 is a resolution receiving bids for 5th Avenue Southwest storm sewer construction. Stephen.
The area of 5th Avenue that I just mentioned, south of Shirley Theo Park, before we do the mill and overlay on that section, there is some storm sewer that is needed for updating and repair. We took bids on that with Hanson Hauling and Excavating being the low bidder at $48,307.75. This cost for this would come out of our stormwater fund, and we would recommend awarding this bid to Hanson Hauling.
Council, any comments, input? If not, we need a resolution for number 7.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Now, under petitions and requests, number 8 is a motion appointing Chris Johnson to the Austin Utilities Board, term expiring December 31st, 2020. Mr. Nybauer is here. I think if people know Chris Johnson, there'll be no issue here. Mark, did you want to say something? You took all the time to come down. You're certainly welcome.
questions if anybody has it.
Yeah, I wouldn't, is anybody gonna have an issue with this, or anybody have any input? I think we're lucky to have her on the board. All right, then we need a motion appointing, pardon? Okay, then we need a motion for number 8.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 9 is a resolution approving exceptional performance pay for the Director of Administrative Services, Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Mayor and members.
Can't hear Craig.
Yeah, he's trying to find a microphone that works.
Yep, that one's working.
There he's got one.
Hello.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Mayor, members. This one, for the Director of Administrative Services, this one provides a 3% performance pay, up to 3% in the amount of $3,515.20. With the recommendation that I have, we'd ask for your approval.
Council, any input? If not, we need a resolution for number 9.
So move the
Is
resolution.
there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. On the same note, number 10 is a resolution approving an updated contract with the Director of Administrative Services. Craig?
Thank you, Mayor. Included is Exhibit 3, which provides some updates, many of them technical changes, and also one addition, which is item 17, provides an additional $12,000 for the work of the Administrative Services Director to conform, or to produce the CAFR. We'd appreciate a motion to approve Exhibit 3 with the corresponding resolutions.
Council, any input? If not, we need a motion for preparation of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Fisher,
Aye.
Baskin,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Waller,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, and thank you, council.
Thank you.
Is
B,
anybody else having audio problems?
There's one of them that's clicking. If you could put it on mute if you're not talking, that might help.
yeah, that's better. It's better here.
So what, the audio that seems echoey to me is what's coming out of City Hall. I'm not sure it's coming from one of us. It could be, but it's, particularly, Tom's mic seems to be in and out a little bit.
Me or Dankert? Okay. So, Tom? All right, let us know if it doesn't improve. All right, then B, we need a motion for adoption of the ordinance.
No, we didn't start on that. You jumped ahead.
We didn't do the preparation?
No, you called that for the vote on 10.
Right. We're on 11 now, Steve.
Okay,
So start at 11 over again.
okay. 11 is reviewing an ordinance for dental amalgam, and, Stephen, whatever it is, how do you say it?
Amalgam.
Amalgam, okay, thank you.
Karam.
Karam, yeah. I got Obala right.
So,
There we go.
as we discussed at the last work session, in 2008, the Minnesota Dental Association established a goal of 100% compliance with amalgam removal, installation of amalgam separators, which separates mercury from the wastewater stream. In 2012, the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency developed criteria for acceptable amalgam separators to remove up to 99% of the massive solids. And in 2017, the EPA passed rules for nationwide compliance and installation of amalgam separators. So there's been over 10 years of talk and discussion in the dental industry about reducing and eliminating mercury from the waste stream. So what we are passing tonight is nothing new. It's been talked about for a long time. This should have, if dental offices had been working to be in compliance with previous regulations, this ordinance that we are passing tonight should have very little impact on them. They should have all of their equipment in place, maybe just some fine tuning of best management practices. There is a little bit more record keeping that'll be required as part of this ordinance, but ultimately the ordinance is being pushed upon us by the MPCA. Kind of came from the federal level to the state level, and now the state is pushing the compliance down upon the locals. So this ordinance, by putting this into place, it gives us the regulations that we need in order to verify compliance. There are about 9 or 10 dental offices throughout the community that this ordinance will be applied toward. And with that, I would open it up to any questions that anyone might have.
Council, do you have any questions? I know, is Doc Green here? And he wished to say something? Dr. Green? No?
He's on here.
Okay, he's not here. So does anybody have any questions on this? I thought he was here.
He's there, but
Where is he? Why is he
right
Peter
below
Green?
Abala,
Looks like Obala to me.
below Abala.
There we go. I'm back.
Dr.
All right, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, we can't see you, but we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm at my mom's house and I'm using a different computer.
Okay, that's fine. We can hear you real good. Did you wish to have some input on this ordinance?
No, I'm totally for the amalgam filters, and I think all the dentists in town are, and also our association. We actually brought it to the forefront many years ago. But the only question or concern I have, there's one portion there about how to clean our lines that go to the amalgam filters. It's a pH issue that I don't think has anything to, it seems unusual to have that in there about the pH cleaners, because it has not a lot to do with the amalgam filters. And I guess my question is, does that need to be in there? Or if it is that going to be inspected, or is that just a, do it if you want to, or recommendation, or is that a law or an ordinance? So don't get me wrong, I'm totally for the filters, and I guess I maybe I can't do that, but ask y'all to table it for 1 week or till the next meeting to present or to bounce this off all the other dental offices and get any other feedback.
Steven?
The ordinance is tailored after the waste sanitary district that is located in Duluth and discharges waste in that area into Lake Superior. They were a group that created this ordinance, and the MPCA has indicated to other agencies that are looking to develop a new ordinance to use that one as a guide. So that is what we have done here. We haven't created our own document. We've taken MPCA regulations and used an existing ordinance that the MPCA has recommended. This item in particular, as Mr. Green, Dr. Green has indicated, it does regulate how they can clean their equipment. And the goal behind that is, we at the wastewater treatment plant, we're very sensitive to the pH levels of our waste stream. So we want to, anytime with all of the ICM agreements that I've brought to council with larger commercial industries, we've always had a window for pH discharge. That window is between 6 and 10. That's where our bugs at the wastewater treatment plant work the best. If it gets one way, too high or too low, it could get acidic or more caustic. So we want to keep it right in the middle of that pH level to allow our bugs to work the best. So this item 5B that Dr. Green is referring to, it does indicate specific cleaning items that would not be allowed, like bleach, chlorine, iodine, peroxide, and then it gives a pH range of using a product that's between 6 and 8. So if it would, again, we're using language that was recommended to us. Some of these cleaners, like iodine, may actually fall between the 6 and 8 range. We would be, if council wanted us, we would be willing to eliminate the specific items that are listed there and just put a pH range like we do on our ICM agreements and say, use cleaners that fall between this range, whatever it is, it meets our pH requirements. So that is something that we feel we could consider. Mr. Byram, I don't know how making changes tonight to the ordinance would impact our notices and those sorts of things. But that is something that if council desired, we could look to make that slight modification.
Dr. Green, does that sound like it would be something that you could agree with?
I think so. The issue we have is that the bugs in the treatment plant are the same bugs that live in our tubes, and they live in that same pH too. And we have issues with what they call suck back, where the bacteria from supposedly something going out, sucks back into a surgical field. So we have to really, even though it's an outgoing tube, we have to keep it incredibly clean so that it doesn't splash back into a patient. So when you said, the question I have for Steve is the outflowing, if that gets watered down, so by the time it leaves our office, it's between that range, is that acceptable?
In the big picture of things, I would imagine that the amount of these cleaners that are used at the 9 or 10 dental companies within the city limits is likely pretty minor when compared to the overall 2.5 million gallons per day that we get at the treatment plant. So I'm guessing that it would be very diluted by the time it got to us. And that's why we feel comfortable eliminating these specific items, specifically referencing them, and then secondly, even making that adjustment of 6 to 8 in the pH range. To answer Dr. Green's question, we don't have a way of testing it after it leaves his service. It's really just right there at the point source is where it's either we test it there or we test it at the treatment plant. There's nowhere in between to test.
Okay.
So yeah, anyway, it's a real moving target. So I think we don't use very much of it, but and it gets watered down. So I think if you do eliminate the chlorine and the iodine and all those kind of things, speaking just for myself, I'd be okay with it.
I don't see where this would be an issue. It seems like it's kind of resolved itself. Okay.
I think we need a legal opinion on that.
Craig?
For changing the ordinance.
The copy or the text of the proposed ordinance has been included in the public notices. So, Dr. Green was able to read it and make his comments about it. If we make changes for it, it should be posted again so that the rest of the public, any other dentists who may have liked that provision has an opportunity to see it before you take a vote on it. So if you're going to pass it as is, you can pass it as is. If you're going to make changes to it, we should make those changes. We should put it in a public notice for the next meeting.
Okay, Stephen, you're talking about eliminating certain specifics and just doing a general overall. So that would be a change that we probably would need to repost? Well, but that sounds like the way to go. Council, I think that's probably the way to go. Is anybody?
I would make a motion to eliminate the specifics in item 5B and just leave it referencing the pH lower than 6 or greater than 8 and to repost the ordinance.
Is there, Council, do you understand that?
I'd second that.
Okay, any more discussion? Mr.
I
Dankert?
think it would be good for us to, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it would be good for us in the meantime to maybe shoot it out to all the dental offices locally just to make sure that there's no issue. I mean, it sounds like most people are pretty well complying with the intent behind it. So throw it behind some folks that have some expertise over the next couple of weeks and make sure we get it 100% right locally.
We repost it.
I agree.
Okay, all right. So where are we at? Did we have a vote on this yet?
Not yet, Your Honor.
Any more discussion? Mr. Dankert?
Councilmember Fisher.
Muted, Paul.
Unmute.
Councilmember Fisher.
Aye.
Baskin.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0, Your Honor.
All right, then we'll go to 12, and we'll hopefully look at that next week. 12 is a resolution accepting donations to the city of Austin. Self-explanatory. Need a resolution.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Fisher.
Aye.
Baskin.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 13 is a resolution approving construction inspection services on the Southwest Trunk Sewer Project. Mr. Lang.
Yes, we've talked about this project multiple times regarding the lining of a sanitary sewer line along Turtle Creek. We've received a proposal from Bolton and Mink to provide construction inspection services in the amount of $100,709. This project will be funded with 2/3 from local option sales tax and 1/3 from the wastewater treatment plant fund. The main focus of a lot of this work, and we'll again look to bring this cost of inspection services down as much as possible. It is an hourly amount estimated at that total. But really the main focus is going to come early on in the project with a lot of coordination with adjacent property owners, determining the access routes and making sure that when we are working in the backyard of these residential homes that everyone is clear as to why we're back there, what we're doing, and how the area will be restored. So there'll be a lot of resident communication up front, and then it will slow down after that. I would recommend awarding this work to Bolton and Mink.
Council, any questions or comments? If not, we need a resolution for 13.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Fisher. I saw his voice. Baskin.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. And then the addition, number 14, is a motion authorizing the mayor to sign a congressional letter of support for the stimulus package. Craig, I have an idea you're behind this.
We were, but Mr. Lang will take this one.
Stephen?
Yep, so this is, as the legislature or the federal government talks about a possible stimulus package to get things up and going after all the COVID-19 stuff has slowed down. They're looking for infrastructure projects that are shovel ready and ready to get off the ground right away and get people back to work. So one major project that, again, we've all been talking about is our work at our wastewater treatment plant. And we feel that this project fits well with getting folks back to work. And it's a very large project. It would help out our community if we were eligible and received federal dollars. So we have worked with our SEH, our consultant company, and developed a letter to our local legislators at the federal level, those being Senator Tina Smith, Senator Amy Klobuchar, and Congressman Jim Hagedorn. We've developed these letters to hopefully be signed by the mayor and emailed to their staff to let them know that we are ready if funds become available for our project.
Council, any questions or comments? If not, thanks, Stephen. It sounds like we're getting our horse in order for this stuff. Good. If not, we need a motion for 14.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Fisher. Baskin.
Unmute.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Waller.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Citizens, we don't have any citizens. Balo, you want to make a statement on your first day? It's your time.
Sure. Well,
How'd I know?
Can you guys hear me? Yep. This is the funny thing with Zoom meeting. You have to start. Can you guys hear me? So, well, I just want to say thank you, Mayor, and all the City Council and the administration for this opportunity. I actually forgot, like, this is my first day. I was just joining the meeting like regular citizen just to join the meeting, but I did not know it's my first day today as a honorary City Council. Yeah, so thank you so much. And it was a little delayed because I was kind of meeting with the chancellor, so the meeting went a little bit 2 minutes longer.
That's okay.
I'm so happy the work that the City Council been working on doing, making sure they're keeping us informed, and I've been looking forward to learn more so that I can help also the community in any ways. So any task you guys want to delegate to me, I'm open to it. I'm willing to learn, and can go out to the community, either making phone call or anything. I'm available, especially during this pandemic. So I just want to say thank you, and let's keep up to make Austin more better community than any other city.
Well, thank you, Balo. I think one of the things we don't think of a lot is our immigrant community, and as we turn inwards during crises sometimes, and really, I don't have a lot of information on what's going on with the immigrant, and how they're handling it and their fears and things like that, and maybe you can give us some insight in that in the coming weeks. Okay?
Yep.
All right, thank you. Now we're gonna go around and do the council members. Tom, do the voting by the way we vote. We'll go around, because that's how we'll do the work session. If we go around, we'll do it in voting order.
Councilmember Fisher. You have to unmute him. Just a minute. Councilmember Fisher, could you go again, please? I think he said I have nothing. Councilmember Baskin.
I think I lip read nothing, Your Honor, but I'm not sure. Who keeps muting me all the
We
time?
keep muting you. We think your feedback might be the issue. You have the TV on by chance?
No.
Paul, now that you're working, we got 3 votes and a statement coming from you, so.
3 really quick things. First is I just want to compliment Julie and the library staff putting together the drive-through library. I think that was a really cool idea. And it's great that we have the opportunity to find a new and different way to take that city asset and utilize it. And as I told Julie, as the father of a couple of kids who had fully burned through all the library books, it was really nice to be able to get the refreshed version. So thank you to all the library staff on that. Second is Mike Stoll in the room there.
Yes.
Just wanted to officially note for the record that it is Mike's birthday, so happy birthday, Mike.
Happy birthday,
Hey.
Mike.
Birthday, Mike.
We'd have got a cake if we knew ahead of time.
And then the last thing I've got is, and Craig, I'm sure will probably cover this during the admin report, but I like what we talked about on the Friday at 5 of figuring out ways that we can limit non-essential spending. I think that's something that would be helpful as we go out and have conversations with the community over the next couple of weeks and months. Is obviously we've got businesses that are hurting, we've got households that are hurting, and so anything that we can be able to take back as to what we're doing to really make sure that every dollar that we're spending is necessary, and thinking a little bit differently, I think will go a long way with that. So that's all I got.
Okay. All right, Craig, when Craig gets to his statement, you want to address it then, Craig?
Yeah.
Okay, Tom, who's next?
Councilmember Haley?
You guys are suddenly really quiet for me. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I wanted to say thank you to all the healthcare workers, Obala being one of them, who's going to work and keeping us all safe, and all the other essential workers as well. I'm really proud of Austin. The last time we were on Zoom, the recommendation to wear masks in public had just started, and every time I go out, I see more and more people wearing the masks. So thank you, Austin. I'm just really proud of our community and the way people are pulling together to help each other, and the way people are, it's not easy, but we're making the sacrifices we need to keep everybody safe. So that's what I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Laura.
Councilmember Waller?
I've got nothing, Your Honor.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Councilmember King?
Yeah, I'd hate to go a meeting without complimenting Julie Kleinfelter, as I like to do. I know Jason did a nice job ahead of me, but Julie also should be recognized for her work at the senior center, getting out those 950 lunches every day. I see her there scooping up and organizing some of that work and the volunteers, and that's quite a feat to feed 250 elderly every day of the week, and Julie's doing a great job with that work.
Thank you, Steve.
Councilmember Pashusta?
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Can't hear.
Yes, Councilmember Pashusta, it's your turn.
Okay, so I just want to give a big shout out to all the people out there that are making masks and donating them and sanitizers and stuff to the city, and the essential workers.
Thanks, Joyce.
Councilmember at Large Austin?
The only thing I have, Your Honor, is just want to note to the citizens listening tonight or that watch this, the filing period for city offices opens May 9th and runs through June 2nd. So if you have the urge to serve, there will be seats open on the council, one in each ward, and also the mayor's seat will be open this year. So if you're interested in running, that's the time to file, and we look forward to seeing who wants to serve.
Yep.
Could we get a little clarification on that? Does it open May 9th or does it open May 19th?
May 19th, I'm sorry.
Yes, May 19th.
Thank you.
Okay. Jeff? Oh, wait.
And just as a side note to that, the Secretary of State's going to be coming out with some information as to how to file, if they're going to allow electronically, or because usually you have to sign that in front of a clerk or in front of a notary. So as soon as that information comes out, we will post that on our Facebook page and the website and get that information out there. And if anybody has questions, they can call me, Ann Kazel, at 437-9943.
Thank you, Ann. Jeff, is that it?
That's all I have, Your
Thank
Honor.
you, Jeff. Craig?
Yeah, the only one that I have in addition is following up on Councilmember Baskin's comments. We are, from a staff, looking at reductions to demonstrate to council what kind of cost savings and what that would mean for our departments. We did receive today a letter from the chamber asking us to look at lowering or flatlining the tax levy for 2021. I think you all were on that email, but the staff is looking at that in earnest based on our discussions that we've had previously with council, and we'll bring those forward at a future time. So something that weighs on us quite a bit of staff as well, so we will do that in the terms of the budget discussion coming forward.
I think in discussions I've had with Craig, we're trying to come up with some options right now and look at if things go certain ways, just some options on what we can do. And I think we've already taken a couple projects and said no, because, in a time like this, you don't need to do a lot of this stuff. And so we are looking at it, and I think we'll bring some stuff to the council as far as workplace stuff in the next meeting or two. Otherwise, we're in the middle of something. I think Austin's responding well. I think Minnesota per capita is doing better than any state, and we're one of the best spots in Minnesota. So we're pretty lucky to be where we are. I think we had a meeting with Dave last week, last Thursday we were having them. A lot of people think, including myself, maybe I had this thing a month ago. I've even talked to people, and that's not the case, because it didn't, when it first came in, it was mostly from people that were outside. So a lot of people, if you think you've had it, don't think you've had it, because you probably haven't. That's a message from our healthcare people, and trust me, I was wondering if I had it, but after talking to Dave, I know I didn't, so be careful out there. Otherwise, we need a motion to adjourn. We'll do our work session right after this. Oh, Stephen.
Steven's got a report.
I'm sorry, Stephen. Anybody else have reports?
Just one quick thing wanted to mention, and I know it came up when we set this date originally. I mean, Laura Helly mentioned about our electronics recycling event, and we have decided to cancel that. It was scheduled for May 9th. The reason for cancellation versus moving back is we're holding it at the fairgrounds. Many other things are trying to get moved back and rescheduled at the fairgrounds. So just to avoid that conflict, we decided for this year to cancel, and we will look to reschedule again in the spring of 2021.
Consistent with Governor Walz's wish, the fire department will be collecting homemade face coverings, masks on Saturday, April 25th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the fire station front door.
They'll be collecting them?
We will be collecting those.
Okay.
Then we will distribute those out to congregate facilities for the workers and those living there.
Okay, great. And there's, Chief McKeegan put out a YouTube.
That's Saturday, Chief? This Saturday?
This Saturday, Chief? Yes. Yeah, this
Saturday the 25th.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
And David McKeegan put out a YouTube video on how to make them. I've made over 100 of them. It's kind of fun, actually. So with that, is any more reports? The only thing I'd like to say is give a shout out to the senior center. They really seem to be stepping up during this crisis period. 950. Steve, did you say 950 meals a day?
That's what the senior citizens are eating. There's 950 senior citizens being delivered lunches every day.
That's fantastic. And I know there's some other places that are doing it. All right. Well, with that, if there's anybody have anything else before we adjourn? We'll do our work session right away, right in here. Need a motion to adjourn till, hang on a minute. Monday, May 4th, 2020 at 5:30 in council chambers. Need a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Fisher. Baskin.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
I can see Fisher's lips moving. Councilmember Waller.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0, Your Honor.
All right, you guys want to take a short break or keep rolling?
When's the pizza get delivered?
It's coming to your house this week and next week.